Sign she doesn't love you. Female psychology explains why. There's something most people don't understand about relationships. It's not chemistry that determines your future. It's not attraction. It's not even compatibility. It's accountability. And the fastest way to measure someone's capacity for a healthy relationship is not by what they promise, but by how they explain their past. Because the way someone narrates their story reveals how they will handle your future. Today we're not attacking anyone. We're not generalizing. We're not labeling. We're analyzing patterns. If you value clarity over comfort, subscribe. Let's begin. The hidden diagnostic language. Pay attention to how someone speaks about their previous relationships. Not the details. The framing. Do they position themselves as a participant or as a permanent victim? There are two types of people. People who say, "I've made mistakes. I'm learning." And people who say, "Nothing was ever my fault." That difference determines everything. Let's break down 5 phrases that reveal deeper patterns and what they actually mean beneath the surface. 1. Everyone I date ends up hurting me. On the surface, this sounds tragic. And sometimes it is. But psychologically, this statement tells you something powerful. It reveals pattern blindness. If every relationship ends in the same pain, one of two things is happening. Either they consistently choose emotionally unavailable partners, or they unconsciously recreate instability. Now here's the critical question. Do they recognize their role in that pattern? Because if they don't, you are not entering a relationship. You are entering a cycle. And cycles repeat until awareness interrupts them. Compassion is important. But so is discernment. 2. I'm just like this. This one is subtle. It usually appears after conflict. You raise a concern. They dismiss it with, "That's just how I am. I don't change. Take it or leave it." What does this signal? Resistance to growth. Every adult has traits. But emotionally mature adults also have flexibility. They don't erase themselves. But they refine themselves. When someone uses identity as a shield against accountability, you will always be negotiating with a wall. And over time that drains respect. 3. You're overthinking. Now this phrase can be harmless. Sometimes someone really is overanalyzing. But when it becomes a default response to your concerns, something shifts. It becomes invalidation. Instead of curiosity, "Help me understand why you feel that way," you get dismissal. You're doing too much. Healthy dynamics welcome clarity. Unhealthy ones avoid it. If every time you seek understanding you're told you're the problem, eventually you stop expressing yourself. And that silence creates emotional distance. 4. I don't need anyone. This sounds strong. Independent. Empowered. But there's a difference between independence and avoidance. A secure person says, "I don't need you to survive, but I choose you." An avoidant mindset says, "I don't rely on anyone. I keep walls." Walls protect, but they also prevent intimacy. If someone prides themselves on emotional detachment, you will constantly feel like you're knocking on a closed door. And relationships cannot grow in locked rooms. 5. Love always fades. This one is dangerous because it reveals expectation. If someone believes love inevitably fades, guess what they subconsciously prepare for? Disconnection. They may pull back early, self-sabotage, test loyalty, withhold vulnerability, not because they want chaos, but because their nervous system is bracing for disappointment. Beliefs shape behavior, and behavior shapes outcomes. The real conversation. This isn't about judging women. It's about understanding psychological readiness. There are women who have done deep emotional work. There are women who haven't. Just like men. The question isn't, is she perfect? The question is she accountable? Because accountability creates safety, and safety creates attraction that lasts. The mistake many men make. Men often think attraction alone will carry a relationship. It won't. Attraction opens the door. Emotional maturity keeps it open. When a man ignores red flags because chemistry feels good, he pays later in confusion. When he stays because he feels needed, he slowly becomes exhausted. When he tolerates inconsistency because he hopes she'll change, he loses clarity. And once you lose clarity, you lose power. Not power over her, power over your decisions. What emotional maturity actually looks like. A woman who is ready for partnership reflects on her past without rewriting it, can say I was wrong without collapsing, listens without instantly defending, adjusts without feeling controlled, communicates without playing guessing games. She doesn't need perfection. She needs partnership. And partnership requires two accountable adults. Here's the hard truth. You cannot love someone into self-awareness. You cannot reassure someone into security. You cannot outperform someone's fear of intimacy. Growth must be self-driven. And if it isn't, you will become the emotional manager of the relationship. That role destroys polarity. It also destroys attraction. The standard shift. Instead of asking, does she like me? Does she demonstrate accountability? Instead of asking, is she attracted? Is she emotionally prepared? Attraction without accountability creates drama. Attraction with accountability creates stability. Choose stability. It may feel less intense at first, but intensity without structure always burns out. Final message. When someone tells you who they are, believe the pattern, not the potential, not the fantasy, not the version you hope they'll become. Choose partners who are actively evolving. Choose people who own their patterns. Choose someone who meets you in responsibility. Because love isn't about rescuing. It's about building. And you cannot build with someone who refuses to hold a brick. If this perspective sharpened your discernment, subscribe to Prismology. Because real strength isn't loud. It's clear. And clarity protects everything. Your attraction to those patterns. Because here's the truth most men avoid. It's not just that you ignored the red flags. It's that part of you was drawn to them. Let's unpack that. Prismology Part 2. Why you're attracted to emotionally unavailable women, and how to break the pattern. There's a pattern many men repeat without realizing it. They say they want peace, but they feel chemistry with chaos. They say they want stability, but they feel excitement with unpredictability. And when a grounded, emotionally available woman enters their life, they feel bored. Why? Because your nervous system confuses familiarity with compatibility. If you grew up earning attention, if love felt inconsistent, if approval felt conditional, then emotional volatility doesn't feel dangerous. Feels normal. And normal feels safe, even when it's unstable. The addiction to emotional highs. Unstable dynamics create spikes. Hot and cold. Push and pull. Distance and intensity. Every reconciliation feels euphoric. Every withdrawal feels terrifying. This creates a biochemical loop. Uncertainty, anxiety, relief, dopamine. That relief feels like love. It isn't. It's regulation. You're not bonding. You're recovering from stress. And when a relationship doesn't produce those spikes, it can feel flat. But flat isn't bad. Flat is stable. Stable just feels unfamiliar to a dysregulated nervous system. The savior complex. There's another layer. Some men are deeply attracted to wounded women, not because they enjoy chaos, but because they feel valuable when they are needed. When she says, "No one understands me like you. You're different from other men. You make me feel safe." You feel chosen. But ask yourself, are you being chosen as a partner or as a stabilizer? Because when your role becomes emotional caretaker, attraction shifts. She stops seeing you as a challenge. You start seeing her as a project. And relationships built on fixing eventually collapse under resentment. Why you ignore red flags? It's rarely ignorance. It's rationalization. You say, she's just been hurt. She needs time. She's scared to open up. I'll show her consistency. But here's the deeper question. Why are you comfortable proving yourself? Why are you comfortable earning stability instead of expecting it? Healthy love is reciprocal, not audition-based. If you constantly feel like you're being evaluated, tested, or measured, that's not partnership. That's probation. The ego trap. Here's the part most men won't admit. There's ego in winning over someone emotionally unavailable. If you succeed, it validates you. If I can make her commit, I must be exceptional. But what happens after you win? The chase ends. And often so does the spark. Because what you were addicted to wasn't her. It was the pursuit. And pursuit is temporary. Sustainability is quiet. The shift from reactivity to selection. Ask yourself, do I feel calm around her? Or am I constantly analyzing? Do I feel chosen? Or am I trying to earn my position? Do I feel respected? Or am I overfunctioning? Your body tells you the truth before your mind does. Tension is information. Anxiety is information. If you constantly feel unsettled, don't romanticize it. Investigate it. What emotionally healthy attraction feels like. It's steady. It's reciprocal. It doesn't feel like you're climbing a mountain to prove your worth. There's playfulness. There's curiosity. There's mutual effort. You don't have to decode everything. You don't have to monitor everything. You don't have to perform. You're wanted, not tested. That may feel less intoxicating at first, but it lasts. Rewiring your pattern. Breaking this cycle requires discipline. Not discipline toward her. Discipline toward yourself. When you notice inconsistency early, step back. When you see avoidance masked as independence, observe. When someone refuses accountability, don't debate it. Accept it. And adjust accordingly. The strongest position a man can take is this. I'm not here to fix you. I'm here to build with someone who's ready. That statement filters chaos. The power of emotional standards. Standards are not ultimatums. They are filters. They quietly remove what isn't aligned. You don't argue. You don't convince. You don't plead. You observe. You decide. You move accordingly. That energy shifts everything. Because emotionally mature women are not threatened by standards. They respect them. Final reflection. If you constantly find yourself in unstable relationships, ask, what feels normal to me that shouldn't? What dynamic am I recreating? What belief about love am I carrying? Because the relationship pattern doesn't just reveal her psychology. It reveals yours. And once you change what you tolerate, you change what you attract. If this challenged you, good. Growth rarely feels comfortable. In part 3, we're going to talk about how to build attraction with emotionally secure women and why many men unintentionally push them away. Subscribe to Prismology, because clarity isn't about blaming others. It's about mastering yourself. And mastery changes your outcomes.